Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Dissection, a Numbers with Jacari series where we're dissecting the numerology behind some of your favorite artists and musicians. I'm your host, Jacari, conglomerated numerologist and astrologer. And in this episode, we're dissecting the numerology behind Doechii, not only the most recent drop, What It Is, but also classics like Persuasive and a couple other gems. So if you're liking what you're hearing, make sure you share it on your socials and tag me at YourSoulLab or at Numbers with Jacari on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And head over to YourSoulLaboratory.com for the interactive blog post or tune in on YouTube. And I think that's all I gotta say before we get into the nitty gritty. So let's get into the gritty nitty. I feel really cool for how I just switched that. But anyways, okay. So Doechii was born August 14th, 1998, which was a Friday. She's currently 24, making her a Psychic 5, simplified from a 14, a Destiny 4, simplified from a 40, a name number Exalted 28, simplified from a 26, and born in a Universal Exalted 9 year, simplified from a 27, and a Universal 8 month, simplified from a 35. And let me just say, as always, the numbers eat. The numbers eat. They are so good, because like I'm an avid believer in there's not a bad number. You don't have bad numbers. Numbers aren't only bad for you. There's duality in everything, and numbers are one of the biggest highlights of that. So when it comes to any numbers that you have, these are your natal numbers, and they have their perks and they also have their weaknesses, and it's just all about how you use them. And she's been using the fuck out this 5, let me tell you, because 5 is ruled by Mercury, so it has this very intellectually focused energy, very witty, very comical, curious, really wants to understand every little detail, analytical, logical. The 5s, I love me a good 5. I really do. I have friends that are 5s, and these are some of my favorite people. Literally, they are some of the funniest people by far because of that wittiness. And it's really fun to look at and to witness how much 5s play a role into personalities, especially in regards to voices. One of the things that I've noticed is 5s, 3s, and some 1s, but mainly 5s and 3s, have really distinctive voices, or really good with words, or words are very impactful in regards to their relationship with words or just their career. Words play a somewhat of a role. So this can be on a good or a bad side. So when it comes to Doechii's career and also her lyricism, that's one of the things that she's most known for, is her use of words. So that 5 is speaking. What were you going for there? Speaking volumes is where we were trying to go. What was the L that we were going for? Speaking loudly, maybe? I don't know. We're gonna move on. But that Psychic 5 simplified from that 14, 1 and 4. I love a 1 and 4 together. Now, mind you, very chaotic. So this also puts in her position where she can be reckless and impulsive and just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. I don't care. Just get it done. We just gotta get it done. I am not mad at that at all. And I love that blend of 1 being ruled by the sun, 4 being ruled by Uranus in the North Node. That blend is such a forward movement, forward thinking. I want to do more. I want to create more. I want to do something new, something that people haven't seen before type shit. Like 4 is such a disruptive ass number. And not only in just the way that it's like, oh yeah, I'm shaking shit up, but it's a trendsetter in its own accord, and so is 1. So the fact that she's eating up the industry like she's eating it up, I'm not surprised. And then Destiny 4 simplified from that 40 emphasizes that. Like, one of the things that I love to see is when somebody's psychic number, either the dominant number or the supplementary numbers, carry over into the destiny number. That shit's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful, because that, for me, what it highlights is when you hit that Saturn return and that destiny number takes a front seat, you're going to step more into you, not necessarily a whole different character switch type shit for people who don't necessarily have that compatibility. It's not a good or a bad thing. It just is something I've noticed. But I love that Destiny 4 because it emphasizes how much she's here to shake some shit up. So it's like, if you were annoyed or frustrated by the storm that is Doechii, it is what it is. You just gotta stay mad at this point. I'm not sorry. I'm just not. The number said what the number said. So stay mad, huh? But that 44, again, ruled by Uranus in the North Node, but 0 being ruled by Pluto, amplifies that ability to disrupt and to inflict or it to cause a level of change. or encompass. Maybe that's the word that I'm looking for. I really love the potency that comes with that 40 because it also adds a level of protection. Now, 0 is one of those numbers that doesn't have a lot of understanding behind it. And it's something that numerologists are still trying to figure out of like, okay, how does this work? Of like, a lot of numerologists will say that it weakens the numbers that it's with. Other numerologists will say that it strengthens the number that it's with. But I see both. I don't see that it will just do one or the other because the other numbers do one or the other. So I'm gonna just take it do both. So it can help her in regards to when she's doing that shaking up shit and she's changing and shaking and moving and doing all the stuff that she's doing. It will help amplify that, and there's gonna be some intensity with that. But it also puts her in a position where it can, that same disruption can be internalized of it's her harming her taking it out on her, or the people around her taking it out on her. Like it can be good in regards to like, okay, yeah, let's change the industry, change the world type shit, but also can be really overwhelming for the native to experience of like, damn, I'm changing again. Ooh. I know I do this regularly, but fuck. Like it's probably I don't say it's a super conscious experience, but I think she'll probably notice when her mind or her thoughts or anything in regards to her internal space changes. Something that she could be very in tune with her body, something that she's very aware of internally of like, yeah, I don't feel this in my spirit, something's off type shit. So I really love the intuition that comes with her numbers naturally, especially that claircognizance? Yes, that claircognizance of just knowing some stuff. Yeah, I'm really loving that. Now with that name exalted 8 simplified from a 26, I also love the numerological compatibility in the supplementary numbers. Oh, it does. It's eating. It always eats, but it's eating. Like that 2 to that 4, not 2 to that 4. I mean, yes, but that's not what I was trying to say. That 2 to that 4, that 6 to that 4. Ooh, that 1 to that 6, or 1 to that 2 rather. That 1 to that 6, that 1 is low-key beating that 6's ass. But considering the fact that that 8 is there, there's not too much tussling that's going on that's detrimental to her. It's like you want to gain these qualities, let me teach you type shit. And like that name number it's really funny that it's a name number 8 because one of the most common conceptions or thoughts when it comes to 8 is that they're really cold, reserved, not really social, just like they're like, I'm here and I don't really want to be, but I am, so let's just get this done, get this over with. But in regards to how much like for me, she gives a little bit more of a fun personality, that 8. So that shows its what's the word I'm looking for, duality. That 8's not just a cold-hearted bitch. She's not. She has a personality. 8 has a personality, and that's emphasized by that 2 and that 6. 2 being ruled by Moon, 6 being ruled by Venus. It emphasizes more of a lighthearted, charismatic nurturance. What's another good word? Creative, artistic nature of that 8. So it's like it puts her in a position where she's remembered for her creativity. She's known for her creativity because 8 also rules over a level of fame, as does the number 1 that's in her psychic number supplementarily. So it just speaks volumes to how things are gonna go for her. I really love them though. I really love these numbers. I would say by far her best numbers are 1, 4, 8, and 9. 1, because I love 1s for everybody. I'm not even sorry, for real, because I say it in damn near every episode that, yeah, 1. 1. It's just because it's a easy number to put. I wouldn't necessarily, depending on the rest of the numerologies, I wouldn't recommend like 1s for 2s, unless there was other numbers that 1 would work well with. And same thing for 6s, probably same thing, probably similar thing for 8 as well. Like there's certain numbers that I wouldn't say 1 for, but it also depends on the rest of the numbers. I'm not just focusing on 1 numbers when I'm recommending these best numbers, but I would say 1, 4, 8, and 9. 1 because of that supplementary placement, and also it works really, really well with that 5 and that 4 of that psychic and that destiny respectively. 4 because it's in that psychic and destiny number dominantly and supplementarily, and also 4 works really, really well with 8 and the supplementary numbers 2 and 6 of that name number. 4 is half of 8, so it sits in the numerological pattern 4, 8. I really love that for her. 8 because it's her name number and double of her destiny number. So it really just it does great. I also feel like 8. Also, I would be cautious of where I put that 8, but I would say that 8 could bring a little bit more grounding to that 5, because 5 can be very up here in their heads and not so much in their bodies. So I would put an emphasis on, or put that 8 in there in a way that it can still be well regulated. So maybe like a 9 simplified from an 18, I feel like would be really, really good for her, because it would allow that grounding, but it wouldn't put too much sit the fuck down in it. It would still allow her to express and explore. And I would put that 9 there because it works really well with that 5, really well with that 4 and that 8. It matches up with 5 in regards to a numerological pattern being 159, matches up with 4 in regards to the fact that they have similar moving energy, like 9 is very driven and 4 is also very driven. And then 8, because 9 and 8 and 7 are the last 3 digits, so they have a level of complexity and tend to be the most misunderstood, so that resonates well with that 8 per se. And that 9 also works really well with that supplementary 6 because of the numerological pattern 369. So really, really love those 4 numbers. I would also say like 2s, 3s, and 6s would be okay, but conversation for another day. I really love these numbers overall. So getting into these projects, I'm gonna start with Girls, because this is one of the first songs that I heard from her. This came out in 2018. This was born it was born July 10th, 2018, which was a Tuesday, giving it a Psychic 1 simplified from a 10, a Destiny 1 simplified from a 19, and a Name Number Exalted 3 simplified from a 12. This was a Universal 2 years simplified from an 11, and a Personal Exalted 6 years simplified from a 24. And again, the numbers eat. Listen, the natal numbers already put her in a position where the complexity and the dynamicism is magnetized as hell. Like that 4, and especially with the relationality to that 8, oh my gosh, it puts it in a position where that 4 is moving, it's pushing, it's revolutionizing, and that 8 is sort of a supportive, just supporting of that. It's just like, okay, I see what you're doing. I'm not going to necessarily try to stop you, because again, 4 is half of 8. It's just going to be like, okay, let me help you do what you're trying to do. And then adding these 1s and this 3 in there, in these base numbers of this project. Listen, this is a great one to come out the gate with. This was also released on a Tuesday. I don't know if I said that, but it was a great one to come out the gate with. Now, being in this Personal Exalted 6 year, that supplementary 4, absolutely love, and that supplementary 2, absolutely love. And considering the fact that she's born on a Friday, that Personal 6 year, that is, it emphasizes more of a rest, calming down, being more, I don't say calming down, but just like doing things that feel good. But 6 is also very creative. So I'm not surprised that she released music this year because of that creativity that's not only in her numbers natally, but also in the energy of 6. So I'm loving the fact that she dropped something in a creative space. Now I would have put a little bit more emphasis on 3s considering that Personal 6 year, because also 3 is sitting in between 2 and 4 of that supplementary number. So that would have been really good relationality. But that 1 doesn't necessarily harm too much due to the fact that her natal numbers are more dominant-ish than that personal year. That personal year is just going to tell you the vibes and the themes of that year, but who you are at your core is still playing a role. So I really love this 6 in a supportive aspect, because 6 is also a supportive number. My only concern is just that dominance of the 1s of the project. Now, considering that there's not the dominance of the 1s in her base numbers, it's not overwhelmingly concerning, but it's just something that I noticed. Now that Psychic 1 and that Destiny 1, they are both 1s, but the supplementary numbers change a little bit, so there's a little bit of a difference. Now that Psychic 1, they both highlight a level of new beginnings, starts, creativity, brilliance, genius, all of these 1 themes, but they just behave a little bit differently. I would say that with that Psychic 1 being simplified from that 10, it's probably something that you've really never seen before to some extent, because of that magnetization coming from that 0 of it's amplifying the fuck out of that 1. It's just being like, oh, you want to do something that ain't ever been done before, or it really is something unique and authentic to you. We gonna do it for real, and that's really what that 0 is helping that 1 do. Now in that 19 of that Destiny number supplementarily, 1 and 9 reflect each other. I love reflections. I love this reflection specifically because of its potency. It's something that that highlights a balance, and that you can't, when you have it, it's either you have it or you don't. But it's one of those blends of energies that is so life-changing that when you use it especially well, listen, it does something different. And I'm not surprised that this was one of the first projects to ever come out. According to Spotify, this is the first project that ever came out. But I don't know if that's actually the case in regards to discographical I'm not even gonna try. In regards to discography things is where we're gonna go with. No, it's so bad. But in regards to the discography, I don't know if this is actually the first project, but if this was actually the first project to ever come out for Doechii, listen, man, it does something different. And I'm so glad that this was the project, considering that Destiny 1, it puts her in a position where it allows her to get a clean slate, and anything that she's done under a previous name, under previous like attempts to do music, whatever, is just sort of kind of like wiped off the slate, and it's like a new bitch, who this type vibe. And I'm living for that. And that reflection between that 1 and 9, because that's where I was trying to go with that. 1 being ruled by the sun, 9 being ruled by Mars. That blend pushes creativity, pushes authenticity, pushes a hustle, a grind, a hunger almost to be themselves. And I really love that. That name number exalted 3, simplified from that 12, allows this project to just take up all of the space that it needs to take up. And when you have now numerology, you can't just I don't say you can't, but it's something that can help in regards to marketing. I wouldn't say use it solely, but it can help your odds type shit. So the 3, it just holds the space for it. And if she's over here like, hey, listen to my song, 3 and that 1 is being like, I got you. And then the birth of the project being on a Tuesday emphasizes that. I overall love this. I think also the relationality between her numbers and this project numbers look very, very nice due to the fact that there's 0 supplementary in both of them. There's also those supplementary 1s, and the fact that 1 is dominant in all of the supplementary numbers of this project, and also her psychic number is still in the front seat presently, but also in the front seat in regards to the release of this project mainly. I feel like that play on that 1 of that psychic number, beautiful start. Beautiful start. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna give this a solid like 8 out of 10 just because 8 out of 10 because I love it as a start, but I want to see where we go with this. So it's a good foundation. That personal 6 year, I do like it, especially within regards to the name numbers. It was a good one for her to get her name out there, because she does have that 6 supplementarily in that name number. So I'm really liking that. So I'm gonna go with a 8 out of 10. And now moving on to one of the classics we all know and love, and might not absolutely love currently because it might have been overplayed, but Persuasive. This project came out originally March 18th, 2022, which was a Friday, giving it a psychic 9 simplified from an 18, a Destiny 9 simplified from an 18, and a name number 4 simplified from a 40. This was a universal pure 6 year and a personal 1 simplified /19 or simplified from a 19 year. And Lord Jesus, I just need a moment of silence. Because why did you go this hard? I just feel like you could have calmed down a little bit, but no. Miss Doechii was like, y'all gonna get this. Y'all gonna eat this up. Like, I don't care. Like we stepping on everybody's neck. I don't care what plans you had. I don't care what emotional state you're in. We're doing this shit, and you're gonna deal with it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna fucking like it. And she's right. She's absolutely right. Because it's like one of the things that I forgot to point out is that 5 has an earwormy effect, especially when you put it in projects. But when it's psychically or natally or in your base numbers, basically is what I'm trying to say, it emphasizes the potency, or can emphasize the potency around words and the use of words and communication things. So it's like when it comes to texting, phone calls, just speaking, public speaking, singing, rapping, whatever. The use of words, the use of one's mind is potent, very, very potent with that 5. So it also allows this earwormy effect in her music, especially with when the numbers work well with her bass numbers, especially when it plays into that psychic 5. Yeah, you never gonna lose. You never gonna lose. So I really love these double 9s. Now, if you noticed, for girls, there was also double 1s. This repetition, I'm living for. Because instead of a project having a long-standing difference from whatever it was born under in regards to psychic number, because you can have projects having a psychic number 3, but a destiny 7, and those numbers work great together, but it's like, how do they work great together? Now with Persuasive, you have 9 and 9, both simplified from 18, whereas for like girls, it was a 1 and 1, but one simplified from a 10 and one simplified from a 19. Both of them still work great together, but the purity in this compatibility and numerological relationality, Lord Jesus, is something different, because like I said before, 8s, if she uses them right, and in this, I would say she damn sure used them correctly, it adds a level of stability instead of a slowing down, especially in this 18, because of the potency of that 1. That when you have a supplementary number, the first number is the number that you pay attention to the most, because it's the first number. So that's dictating the energy of the rest of the numerological pattern, or just numerological order of like whatever is coming after it. Even if we're going in the natural order of numbers, if it's a 5-digit number, whatever, it doesn't matter how many digits it is, the first number is very important to how this number is going to play out in energy, because it's like a 19 or a 9 simplified from an 18, very drastically different from a 9 simplified from a 27. And this 918, that 1 pushing and creating this space to be like, hey, I'm here for this 9, whew, and then 1 and 9 reflect each other. It just highlights a passion that is not dying anytime soon for me. That's what this shit says. It's like, I am in this bitch. Y'all just might as well get comfy at this point. Like, I'm not leaving. Y'all might want me to leave, but I'm not sorry. Like, I'm here to stay is really what it says, especially with them supplementary 8s. An 8 is ruled by Saturn, and it highlights a level of stability and also awareness and wisdom, among other things. But when you put it in a numerological project like this, where it's sitting right now, it supports that 1 and also supports that 9. So the energy of 8 also be highlighting a level of security and stability and also boundaries. It also puts her in a position where she's getting this shit out and she's gaining some level of fame per se from this, which she definitely did. As popular as the song did, as popular as the song was, she definitely did. So it helps support whatever level of success you're going for, especially with that 1, because 1 highlights a potentiality and 9 also highlights a level of potentiality. Oh, I love it. I'm literally struggling to find words to describe how good this shit is. It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I just don't even know what to say at this point. The name number 4, listen, man. Listen. Gotta pat my wee real quick, because bitch, what were you doing? Why did you do this? What provoked you? To go this fucking hard? Because that synchronicity with that name number being the exact destiny number, you're sick. And I love it. Because that level of audacity, this is probably one of those songs that she put out, and this is something that probably gave her that recognition with her name specifically. Not necessarily her as a person, but her as a artist under that name of Doechii. So I am not mad at this at all. Like Persuasive, also with that lineup between Persuasive being the name number for the Persuasive being a 4 simplified from that 40, and her natal destiny number being that 4 simplified for that 40. It's also something that could have been destined, or fated to happen, and that is also likely going to play a large theme in the rest of her lifelong standing. So I really love this. And also, I think I might have misspoke, because for the 4 name number is for the project, not for her name. Now, considering, actually, no, I was onto something there, because that 4 of this name number being half of her name number still also has that same impact of it emphasizes her name. So I absolutely love this. I don't think I've done a 10 out of 10, but I'm really debating it right now. I don't think I've ever done a 10 out of 10 on this series, but this shit, I don't know what provoked you, because also the personal 1 year, 1 simplified from a 19, mind you, 1 simplified from a 19, and then those 9 siblings sitting in that psychic and that destiny position. Ma'am, I just wanna have a word. Because what was you doing? You just sitting up here bodying bitches numerologically? Like, what? I'd be so sick of me. I'm gonna easily give this a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I love it. And I'll, like, looking at the rest of the numbers, because, like, I don't put them in the videos, but I do put them on in the interactive blog post of, like, the personal month and the personal day. It's beautiful. It's just fucking beautiful, bruh. Very proud of this. We're gonna move on before I fuck around and cry, because that shit's so nice. Okay, so what it is came out March 17th, 2023, which is a Friday, giving it a Psychic 8 simplified from a 17, a Destiny 9 again simplified from 18, and Name Number 7 simplified from a 52 for the full title, but it also simplifies to Exalted 7 for just what it is. Exalted 7 simplified from a 25. This was a Universal Pure 7 year, and a Personal 2 simplified from a 20 year. She not scared of y'all. I don't know what else to say. She's not fucking scared of y'all. Using these dominant ass numbers of that 7, 8, and 9, she ain't scared of shit. Like, if you in a box, she's like, let's tussle, bruh. Let's go. Like, you in a bite? We can bite. You in a box? We can box. You want to kick? We can kick. Like, it's whatever action you want to choose, we got it. It's really what these numbers say. Because the thing about a Psychic 8 simplified from a 17, 1, absolutely love this number, especially for her, considering the fact that she is 8, has a name number 8. I really like this because it takes that 8 energy in a different way. Like, this puts more emphasis on discovery and exploration and just trying something different, but also emphasizes nostalgia, so samples can be involved. And inspiration from past things can be involved, because 7 is ruled by Neptune and the South Node highlighting a level of history. So it's a beautiful blend, and also the South Node also highlighting a level of foundation, and 8 highlighting a level of foundation. So this highlights for me a new era. That new era started with Persuasive, per se, considering the personal 1 year she was in at the time, but now being in a personal 2 year, she's taking that 1 and being like, okay, I see what's going on here. Let me see what else I can do with this. Like, I wanna tap in, explore, adventure, and do all this other stuff. Now, I do like that reflection that happens between that Psychic 8 and that personal 2 year, because 2 and 8 reflect each other. So 2 is one of those numbers that I absolutely love because of its genuineness, its patience, its honesty, its care, its nurturance. It's one of those very authentic numbers that it's a very nice, like, warm ass hug. Like, it feels good. So when you're in that personal 2 year, there's an emphasis on those things of feeling good, but also on connection and community, and also taking care of oneself. Boundaries are also an emphasis, because 2 lacks boundaries. 2 has a not the best track record in regards to boundaries, not only because of its genuineness that it's operating out of, that it's expecting the other numbers to operate out of, but also because of the reflection that it has between 2 and 8 ruling over boundaries. Now, when you have a reflection, you have numbers that highlights the same themes but just opposite sides of it. So they both highlight a level of boundaries, but 2 highlights not having them, and 8 highlights having them and also enforcing them. So this is a year that she really got to protect her peace, protect her space, and that Psychic 8 is dominant as hell, but it's also protecting that peace. It's protecting that space. And I'm very happy with that, because 7 is also one of those numbers that can be highly overindulgent. But considering that personal 2 year, I would also say be very careful with intoxication and just overindulgent in things that you can be addicted or obsessed with. Now you can be obsessed or addicted to more than just drugs and alcohol. But those are the main things that you typically think of when talking about 7 or Neptune energy type shit. I was gonna say Neptunian, but I don't know if that's actually a word, so I'm just not gonna. We gonna move on now. So with that Destiny 9, simplified from that 18, similar vibes from that past project, and it also carries the same longevity that Persuasive has. Of like, Persuasive was bumping on TikTok for God knows how long, and it's still one of those classics that you're just like, anytime you hear this song, you know exactly what it is. Like, you know exactly whose song this is anytime you hear it. And that is the same vibe that comes with this song of what it is. I've heard this song so many times on so many different platforms, and it has a similar level of longevity as Persuasive because of that same destiny number. Now with this name number 7, simplified from that 52 / that 25, depending on if we're using the whole title, what it is, Black Boy, or just what it is, dependent on what you're doing. They're both 7s, but the difference of that switch, which I'm actually glad she did this, because typically when you have a song that has its like original title but also has a title, more the extended title in like the parens type shit, people will just call it whatever is outside of those parens. But with the line up between that 7 still carrying over between what it is and also what it is, Block Boy, it's still being a 7, but the numbers just switching of that 2 and that 5. Fucking exquisite one, because you have not only the dominant energy of that 5, but also that dominant energy of that 2 that helps it balance out. So all of these numbers emphasize an intellectual space, but also an intuitive space. 7 is one of those numbers that highlights spirituality in a way that everybody probably knows. Of like, it's one of those numbers that people are like, when you talk about the number 7, the first thing that you'll hear a lot of people say is it's the number of spirituality. So it highlights a level of intuition, and 5 highlights a level of awareness, which also comes with intuition. Intuition is being aware of something, whether it's outside of you or internally. I don't say typically outside, but that's a conversation for another day. 2 also being ruled by the moon highlights the intuition as well. So these all blending together to create this name number. With the 7 being dominant, it emphasizes a exploration, like I was saying, but also a dissection into, or a deep dive into something where into a level of unknown. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know if this was where I was really trying to go. It's just trying to figure out. It's really just being like, I don't really know where we're going, but I'm gonna just figure it out on the way there. And I like that, because it's like, I don't think that anybody knew what the song was gonna be like when it came out type shit, or finished product. Like, she also might not have known what it was gonna be like finished product type shit with that name number. But I really like this. I'm gonna go overall for this. With these dominant ass numbers, this shit is impeccable and fucking impeccable. I'm gonna go with 7 out of 10, only just because of those, though that 7, we do like 7 in regards to 7 being 7. I will say that 7 is one of those numbers when it's with 5 that it can overanalyze, overthink, and overindulge into those mental spaces, and typically dissociate and fall into these really unhealthy mental health themes. So that's the only concern that I have, considering that there's 2 7s in this project and then she has that 5 natally. That's my only concern, so I'm gonna go a 7 out of 10, but it's still not bad. Now, overall, for all three of these projects, I absolutely love these numbers. I don't know what Miss Doechii be doing with numbers, if she be using the numbers by my assessments. Listen, it look like it, and I'm not mad at it either. Like, I love these. Just, baby, just keep doing what you're doing, because the way she's not letting up anytime soon numerologically, I'm just saying. She's currently in a personal 2 year, so I would love to put, I also love that What It Is one of those songs that you could probably play at like a kickback, cookout, hangout, whatever. Like, this is a song that could bring a lot of people together, which is something that 2 highlights, is a level of community and connection. So that's going to be something that she's going to be doing a lot this year, of community and connection. So she's going on tour this year. I wouldn't be mad at that. But I also would say be very, very careful with fan interaction in regards to going on tour or just being out, just because 2 is so open. It's just like, I love people, I love love, I want to be around people, and that level of openness can sometimes be dangerous. So I would be mindful of that. But other than that, I'm loving what we seeing. Just keep stepping on these bitches' necks. Don't let them breathe. It's completely fine by me. I love it here. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, because I sure as hell did. So make sure you share your thoughts on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, and tag me at Your Soul Lab or at Numbers with Jacari, and share it with Doechii and her fans as well. And this episode is inspired by my services, my personal numerology breakdown, and also my You and Your Career readings. All of my services are available on yoursoulaboratory.com. And yeah, that's all I got for you. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.